It's very true. It's very, very true. Oh yeah. It's the pre-Thanksgiving show. Woo, of the Mid-Geek crisis.
Woo, what are we thankful for?
Days off work. That's what I'm thankful for.
Man.
Holy cow. I'm like gainfully employed, but also tired.
When are you off? You off on Thursday? You off tomorrow?
Just Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Friday. I work Friday, but that's okay.
I took it off. I usually.
Oh, you took it off. Yeah.
I took it off. Yes.
Yeah, I took a few days off this past week. And, it was nice. It was nice. I had a nice long weekend.
I saw you were Dallas. You were Dallas Cowboying it all weekend long.
Never Dallas Cowboying it. Dallasing it. Never Cowboying it. Never. Oh. Just finger guns everywhere. Oh man. Yeah. No. Are you? I mean, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
We're having a Friendsgiving, and then I think we're gonna try to get away. We're gonna try to find like a cheap weekend hotel, just fucking chill outside the house for a little bit. Nice. Might be fun. Yeah.
We are not inviting anybody over.
Wow.
Nobody.
Just
I'm not even making turkey this year. I'm frying chicken.
Wow. Why so low key?
I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Like a month ago, I was like, Thanksgiving is coming, and while I don't want to drive home, I don't want to do the 5-hour drive just to drive 5 hours back a few days later, or try to attempt to work from home, or I was just like, and I just didn't want to have like the giant cooking mess. I don't mind making the sides, but like the turkey, and I don't know. I wasn't feeling the turkey.
That's fair.
So I was like, why don't we just have like fancy subs? I mean, half the things we eat are the sides anyway, and the turkey just ends up.
It's all about the sides. Who cares
about the sides? So we're making all the nice sides that we want, and then
fried chicken.
If we want poultry, we'll just make some fried chicken.
That's awesome. That's the way to be thankful together as a family.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And then that's pretty much it. Like,
specifically, as Roll says, it is about the sweet potatoes. You're not wrong.
We're going to talk about that on the show. I want to talk about sides. I want to talk about.
We're going to optimize our Thanksgiving as gamers today.
We have to optimize it. Min-max. We got to min-max our calories.
The Mid-Geek crisis.
Mid-Geek crisis. Let's talk about it. There's going to be some hot takes. I got hot takes with some hot sides. Let's kick it off.
Let's roll it.
Welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis, episode 155, our pre-Thanksgiving episode. My name is Joe, the Afroman.
I am Pedro, cautious online.
Oh, man.
Hello, folks.
It's a quiet episode, I think, today. I think this is going to be a pretty chill episode.
We're going to be talking about Thanksgiving and fighting about Cowboy Bebop, bro. That's not a quiet episode.
That's exactly right. My thing is Thanksgiving is lame. It's like Christmas, but without trees. Dude, Chris, I agree with you. Everyone always constantly like defends it when people start like putting out Christmas stuff early, and so they're like, "Oh, well, what about Thanksgiving?" And I'm like, it's literally the same holiday without the gifts. You make really fatty foods that you never make any other day, and you sit around and watch a football game or a sports or a parade or something.
But it doesn't have the religious connotations of Christmas, my man.
What's religious about Christmas? You just I don't do anything.
Right there in the name, Joe. Christmas.
No, what? That's not how you spell my name.
But I mean, like, like Jewish folks and other folks of other religions don't
Hanukkah started like last week.
It changes based on their calendar.
I know, but like they're not even like the Jewish holiday isn't even happening in December this year.
No, it doesn't even overlap. Right, so Christmas doesn't even matter for them. So they don't. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. Some folks celebrate it, some folks don't. But it's different from Thanksgiving. I mean, Thanksgiving for me is a warm family moment, while Christmas is like all that pressure of shopping and gifts and all that stuff. Right?
But I mean,
it's nice to have the food without the gifts.
That's fair.
Yes, Chris, and technically is the best kind of correct. Christmas was a pagan holiday.
There's always that one guy. Always that one guy.
Always that one
Did you know
guy.
yes, we know. I think we've all known. We've all known.
Jesus was actually born on December 8th, right? There's always, it's a jumping on, dude.
Apparently he would have been born in like sometime in March, actually. Oh man, no. I mean, for real, I'm all for Christmas and the holiday and religion. I mean, I was born and raised Catholic, so it's like,
plus, yeah.
There's
no stopping it. There's no stopping Christmas, right? But so let's just enjoy it. Halloween is the best holiday. I agree with you.
It's like 3D printed stuff. Yes, it's 3D printed. We know it's 3D printed.
3D printed. We know.
Yeah. Halloween is the best. Yeah, I mean, I like this time of year because I feel like it's like an album. The year is like a music album, and it's how a lot of albums are front loaded.
What?
The best hits.
It's not like
the best
a Spotify
hits are at the end,
playlist.
Well, it's the best hits are at the end of the year. At the end of the album, the last 3-4 tracks are like the bangers.
Right. They bring out, and then there's the secret track which you're really excited for, right? That's what it's about.
Exactly. And that's how I feel about the year. It's like right after like July 4th, which is a 7, month 7 of the year, is kind of the gateway. It's like from then on out, everything's just kind of rolling downhill into like the good stuff. The fall happens, the weather gets nice, the all of the, and as a tech and as a geek guy, as geeks in general, because of the holidays, all the games get released around
then, all the announcements drop,
the operating systems for phones and new devices get released for the holidays. So it's like everything. I mean, the techs call it Techtober is what they call October, because that's when a lot of the tech releases happen. So again, it's just kind of like this slope, and then January happens, and then you're like, okay, let's go it all over. Let's do it all over.
I'm alone again for Valentine's Day. No, I'm kidding.
gotta update my grinder. I mean Tinder.
I think Rose referenced himself here. He was. Is that what you did?
I like that. He's like, yeah, bro. That's
I know what I'm talking about here. So Thanksgiving. So what's your jam, right? Are you a big turkey guy, a little turkey person? What are you down with?
Let's get into
bring up the
festivities here.
foliage.
Let's ask the groups here. I do. Yeah, that's right.
I have Joe every day, Chris.
Every day. I want to know, tradition-wise, for Thanksgiving, a lot of us are, different nationalities, different cultures, and how we celebrate Thanksgiving was always very different. I mean, it's an adopted holiday for us, right? So, like, I grew up Latino, and so we always do the turkey and all that. My mom makes like a Spanish-style stuffing. It's like ground beef and like olives and pecans and like Ameriquai. So you've got the carrots and the celery and all that kind of stuff.
It wasn't until I dated a white girl that I came across the other kind of stuff.
Yeah, right. Like the stuffing, like the actual bread. Like we never had bread stuffing on our table until later.
Why would you stuff meat without meat? Where is the rest of the meat?
Yeah, like my parents would do meat with meat. And so
that's a compliment the turkey.
No turkey guy, Chris. That's interesting. So what was your protein? Are you like the spiral ham guy?
Spiral ham, yep. Dr. Pepper ham.
That's a Southern thing, yeah. Dr. Pepper ham is what my brother-in-law said. Yeah, I've seen that. Use the Dr. Pepper as kind of the glaze, and it's full of sugar. So
good stuff.
Oh, dry, yeah, of course. And once I started cooking for myself, my big thing was like go through the big, like, let's brine it, let's do all the stuff to try to make it. But I feel like the work, that's why this year I was telling at the beginning of the show, before even the show started, I was talking about how I wasn't going to do turkey this year. Because I just wasn't, I hate fighting with a bird that wants to be dry. And the past few years I've been deep frying it.
I can't make you a good bird. I cannot make you.
I mean, deep frying it is the answer, but it's just like I gotta like get the deep fryer out. I gotta get all the oil out. And I told myself, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do the oil thing, I'm just gonna get like a smaller batch of oil and do fried chicken. That's all I want. I just want moist, awesome chicken. So let's do it.
So let's make some moist, awesome chicken. That's fantastic.
We pretty much do the standard traditional Thanksgiving. All the usual fixings. Only downside is my aunt and uncle host. If they smoke their turkey, dry. Dude, smoked turkey isn't supposed to be dry, but like if it's done wrong, it just completely
get that jerky. Get that
jerky. But it's a lot of work, and the grease is bad for you. Yeah, the grease is bad for you. But so is everything else, right? Like, do you know how much butter you go through making all the sides? Like the
butter gets cooked into it. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. I remember last year we bought like three 8 packs of butter, and at the end of it, we're like, there was no bread left.
Bad for you. Get out of here. Come, Joe, get out of here. You are voted off the island. Sir.
Yeah, so my sister's saying, yeah, it's got dry fruits and meats and olives in one bite. So it's got a lot of it's like a different style of stuffing. That's what we did in our household. So, but now I appreciate the stuffing, but I've also come to realize that I feel like people will do like, here's the perfect stuffing recipe. And they'll like dry your croutons and do this and that. And then by the end of it, I'm just like, so where's the stovetop?
Yeah.
Can we not be honest here? We all just really want stovetop, right?
With that powdered chicken stock,
and just dunked in gravy, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Also
stovetop. That's it. That's Dan's recipe for stuffing. Stovetop. That's it. Done.
That's right.
Same here. That's our household stuffing mix.
It feels like Dallas. That's true. Truth. Oh, stovetop. Yeah, right? Like, I feel like we keep trying to make the perfect stuffing, but honestly, we all want the consistency of stovetop. So, yeah.
I don't want to put that much work into it, right?
Right.
Stovetop sets a good standard.
The family who eats sweet potatoes feels bad. It's funny. I'm supposed to like sweet potatoes. It's like in my blood. Like I'm supposed, like it's a Mexican like plant.
Yeah.
It's native to that area, and I'm actually not a big fan. I'll tolerate it, but my wife, she's all about like the sweet potatoes with the like the molten like marshmallows on top. So she's all about that. I'm not into it.
I like it with just a little butter and cinnamon. Just mix it all up.
Yeah. I've had it like a sweet potato pie. I can eat it because it reminds me of like pumpkin pie. It's not far, it's not far off from that. Stuff's are blend out. Stuffing is a filler. You don't need it. You don't really want it.
It just fills the cracks.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever done turducken? That's just amazing.
I've never had it. I've always wanted to try like the animal within an animal within an animal.
And with like the oyster stuffing is what I ordered from Louisiana. One year we just ordered a big old pre-made turducken and cooked it ourselves. It was fantastic. Because it's hedonistic, right? It's every animal.
Everything is perfect. From like a restaurant. My parents more like a potluck. Yeah, so we've always done potlucks. My folks do the you talk about yams. my folks are the same way. Like we make like turkey and that stuffing, so it's like the ground meat with the almonds and the pecans and fruit and all that kind of stuff. And then my mom will make like a big old casserole with like pasta. So we've got like a cream, like fettuccine. Yeah, like a fettuccine pasta, like more carbs on top of carbs. And then my dad will hit up the local the Mexican bread place, so that you get the fresh the bolillos. So
get more carbs.
So more carbs. So just he needs to have a fresh. So he's like shoving like carbs into the bread and taking.
Are you all asleep by like 3 o'clock?
Comb it out.
That is green bean casserole, Brendan. Nice. That's a classic one that my wife brought into our family.
Anyone having a gathering with opposing COVID? Oh man, like I can imagine. Last year was probably more volatile than this year. This year we've got the vaccines out, and a lot of us are on our 3rd vaccine. I'm on my 3.0 and update, and the 5G's killing it. I get reception everywhere I go now. But that said, I can imagine that this year
it's actually comforting to know that Bill Gates knows where you are at all times, dude, right? Like someone's watching out for me.
He knew. He's like, holy shit, he got Doom running on it. Like that's it's like somehow or another I'm running Doom in my eyelids. But yes, you're absolutely right. This year will be probably the conversation will be is if you're vaccinated or not, and and then of course there's always going to be like the one person that's going to bring up why. you know, why should I get vaccinated and that sort of stuff. So that should be fun. My kids got the Fauci this morning and they got all their flu shots, fingers. Yeah, my kiddos got theirs not last week, the week before last. So their next shot is this coming Monday.
Yeah.
So they'll get their second one this coming Monday, and I'm excited for that. A mix of third shot, mask burns, and anti-vax, anti-conspiracy Fonzies. I love it. I love it.
Conspiracy Fonzies?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You know, what brings
like
the families together.
No way. It brings families together.
So speaking of Thanksgiving in general on the sides, I wanted to bring up something. What is the most overrated side? I saw that Dan was saying earlier that stuffing was one that fills the cracks, and I can totally back that one. But what's the one side that you're just like, why does everyone love that?
Cranberries. I mean, the first thought I had was cranberries, but if you can get a good cranberry, it's good. But
you know, but what's interesting is I see people try to make like a legit one where they're like, oh, we'll make the cranberry compote and all that, and then at the end of it, you just kind of want the jelly, right?
And it's just like sweet as hell, and you're like, why would I have this?
Why would I have this? It's so weird.
You know what? I think just because it never hits right. Mac and cheese, the mac and cheese side never hits right.
This year, I feel like mac and cheese has been on everyone's list. I've been seeing like all sorts of conversations on Twitter and whatnot, and mac and cheese. And of course, the defenders are like don't come from a mac and cheese, bro. But I also feel like you're right. Most of the time, the mac and cheese that gets served on Thanksgiving is so mediocre.
Yeah. I mean, relative to like the delicious sweet potatoes and the pumpkin pies and the cranberry and all that stuff, it's just the mac and cheese. It's always it's not crisp pasta. It's always like too soggy.
It's been stewed to death. So
because it's cooked at the wrong temperature because it has to fit in the oven. It just never works out. And I think when I see it at the table, I'm always like, man, I'll put a spoonful on my plate just to be nice.
And then you take like one bite out of it and leave the rest of it on the plate. I get it. So this year, because we're making fried chicken, we're making mac and cheese, but we're gonna attempt to make the good side.
It's gonna be a primary side. It's
gonna be a primary side. So we're gonna try it. And yeah, so the baked mac and cheese is what you call the overrated one, because again, a lot of people are like, if it's creamy and whatnot, I don't want it, but they want the baked one. They want the one with like the solid like cheese on
crispy
top,
layer on top,
and some of them like the
breadcrumb,
breadcrumb, and some of them don't. So like, it's interesting. Mac and cheese is
I personally like it with raisins. When it's the mac and cheese with raisins, that's the best kind.
Ooh, look at this! Look at this pro tip. This guy's thinking in 20. This guy's thinking in 30-21.
Ditch that witch. Come on, dude. I mean, add Jimmy Dean's spicy breakfast sauces to everything is the way to go. Look, Ditch is like, wait, what? What? The raisins?
Just you're gonna get the big blue, baby. Nah, if I would do that, I'd go all like special and import some from like Canada, because apparently everyone loves that, like the Kraft mac and cheese from Canada, and it's different.
Tim Hortons mac and cheese, is that what it's all about?
No, like I mean, anyone who's familiar with Canada, the Canadian style of stuff. Apparently, Kraft, they just call it Kraft, and the Kraft box mac and cheese in Canada is different. It's got a different formula. Better. It's better. I don't know what it is.
Ditch. I'm intrigued. I get it. No, we don't put raisins in our mac and cheese. I'm just messing around here. There's no raisins. No. Please do not put raisins in your mac and cheese. That is a lie.
Yeah, so that's
with the crisp top. That's
right. But again, have you had it where it's actually perfect? When you make mac and cheese, like you're gonna make, like today for dinner, we're making mac and cheese. You go all out. And you do it good, and you it's delicious. But every time I've ever had it at like a dinner or a Thanksgiving, someone else has made it, or it's like the last thing where you just like shredded cheese and you threw it in the oven and it didn't cook right, or like Pedro was saying, that the pasta just isn't cooked well,
it's overcooked, and it just
right. It doesn't have the bite, the chew that mac and cheese. It's just like wet, slimy pasta with like a cheese that isn't even like hitting right. It's just like a cheese sauce at this point.
It might be good, but everything else is so much better. Is often what happens.
Yeah. My uncle makes mac and cheese. He uses 2 pounds of so Velveeta. I mean, but that's also like a cheat code, right? That's like who made the queso? And in reality, it's just a block of Velveeta and Rotel, because Velveeta and Rotel make great queso, right?
Like, who made the queso? That's awesome.
Hot take, I'll take a regular old-fashioned box mac and cheese over any... yeah, I mean, my kiddo's the same way, right? Like, every time we go out and mac and cheese is a side, I tend to order it, and then they taste it, and they're like, no. But they want box mac and cheese. Because they want the taste of box mac and cheese.
Do you know, like, have you had Kraft box mac and cheese lately? There's only like 4 ounces of pasta in that big ass box now.
Right.
Like, they've taken so much weight out of that box.
So much. You open up the box and it's this much of the box.
It's like a bag of Lay's. There's no pasta.
All air.
It's just like, what the hell?
Almost want a chili cook-off with cans of oh wow, in a jar of queso.
Where was the cook-off? Was it?
I know, man. Like
Staten Island. How is it possible you're anywhere?
Well, Chris, buddy, you've got this recipe from the 1880s. This thing better be banging. It's got mayo in it, doesn't it? All the good recipes have mayo in it.
1880s, it's got cocaine in it. That's what makes it good.
It's got real cocaine. It's no longer. Everything back in the day, they just put cocaine in it. Oh my god! And so Thanksgiving is fantastic, and it's the day that you get to hang out and, like you said, having a friendsgiving, which I think
Friendsgiving, some board games, get together. Everyone's going to eat.
It's been the tradition for a lot of. I don't want to say young folk. I want to just say, like, the modern take isn't always just family anymore. It's the Friendsgiving. It's a day to kind of come together as friends and do the board games, do the sit down co-op video game just time,
hang out, enjoy yourselves. Yeah.
Let's see. Us Minnesotans pride ourselves on many things, but chili is not one of them. But at least we could do it. But you know, Cincinnati chili is a weird beast, and it's like runny and sweet and cinnamony. But let me tell you, every time I go to Ohio, I gotta stop at Skyline and get myself a 3-way. The pasta. That's what it's called. It's
I know.
It's pasta, chili, and cheese, and I'm just like, this should not work. But it's like a ragu almost, so it's weird.
Yeah, it shouldn't, and it's pasta. It's let's see. We go over
the hills working at dinner, and the dogs are like, "What
the?" Well, good. See, that's what I am thankful for you folks coming out and enjoying our show, and enjoying. Rio says 1880s recipes have mayo, tomatoes, bulk potatoes, and cocaine.
Yeah, there's a guy on TikTok. I forgot his name. I follow him, and he looks like Steve Rogers pre-serum is what he looks like. It's what this guy looks like. He's got like the comb over, and he's got but he cooks all these old recipes. He'll go through like books, and he's done like potato candy, or he's done like a mayo pudding kind of thing.
What a challenge.
He goes through it and makes it. And by the end of it, half of them, he's like, this shouldn't work, and it's delicious. It's like, this is potatoes. Why don't you taste like potatoes? I don't understand.
Dude, potatoes are amazing, first of all.
Well, they're a starch, right?
Yeah, so they're just fantastic. And their versatility, the potato, right? That's
you
can't mess around with potatoes.
Isn't it? Doesn't he look like Steve Rogers minus the serum?
That's it. There you go. It's called Tasting History. That's the name of the.
Is that what it is? Okay, yeah.
That's what Chris says. He might be leading us to a different show. That.
Yeah. Oh God! Don't click on that.
It's like questionable click of the night.
Oh man.
Brandon says in the South, at least in Texas, when someone says who made the meatloaf, can mean it tastes awful or it tastes great. Just depends on the tone.
Yeah.
I can see that. All right. Mayo pudding equals delicious. Yeah.
So every time I see one of these recipes, and people freak out about mayo, but then you think about what makes mayo. Like, how do you make mayo? And it's eggs and oil emulsified, and it makes mayo. So when you make a cake, it's eggs and oil. Like, you need eggs and oil in a cake to make it fluffy. So mayo is the perfect addition to it. It works.
But like calling it mayo pudding immediately makes it sound gross, right? It's not good marketing. Well, it's not good marketing.
I get it. Mayo, I like mayo, but and I get it. But like, when you take what makes mayo, it's just oil and eggs, and then when you make a recipe says use mayo, it's essentially the same thing as taking eggs and and oil.
You keep saying this, but like, if someone was like scrambled egg pudding, you wouldn't be like flipping a table looking for it, right?
Right. I mean, I get it. It's the naming, but I guess in old timey times, mayo wasn't as gross. Everyone just kind of assumed what it was.
Everyone had their own mayo. It's a rock out the mayo. How about mayo icing?
Well, I mean, again, eggs and oil. So I mean, eggs, oil, sugar. I mean,
I think we're talking too much about mayo now, everybody. I think
day after Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and Black Friday has literally been expanded to the month. So I mean, I'm sure most of us have already.
Black Friday shopping. I'm done. I can boycott Black Friday pretty easily this weekend.
You're done. I'm done.
All the sales.
One of the good news. I'm trying to pull up the link here. I'm trying to find it, but Target will no longer be open on
Thanksgiving. Is it this Thanksgiving or next Thanksgiving? Did they announce it?
Just in general, that they're not from here on out.
Good for them. I love it.
They won't be opening for Thanksgiving, and I thought that was a permanent change to store hours. Here we go. I found a link.
Good for Target coming around, close it up, let people celebrate their holidays.
Yeah, I mean they announced
that capitalism.
We started as temporary measure driven by the pandemic, and now it's our new standard, one that recognizes our ability to deliver our guest holidays wishes well beyond store hours. Yeah, I mean, honestly, folks,
they have a 30% off Lego sale going on right now at Target.
Yeah, I mean,
you can order it online and get everything you need done that way.
Right. Already did some Black Friday shopping. Yeah, things like Micro Center, things like Best Buy. Everyone has been doing the Black Friday deals. If you've been wanting to pick up a lot of the AAA titles for consoles, Guardians of the Galaxy on Xbox and PS5 is $29. It was a $60 game. It just came out. A bunch.
That's always the way it is in November, though. All the $60 games from October are now $30.
No Pi 4s anywhere. Yeah, they're I haven't seen any. I think the big one is the Pi 02 is out right now. You can pick that up at certain places. The union worked, right? I mean, it's like thanking them for paying child support, right? Like, ooh, he pays his child support. I'm like, well, you're supposed to. Like,
you're providing a baseline standard.
Baseline standard. So same thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna be closed on Thanksgiving. Woo woo, pat themselves on the back. I'm like, you're supposed to be closed on Thanksgiving, right?
Be good, be kind, give people up. Yes, there you go, Rio. Let's push forward anti-work Reddit.
That's right.
Phenomenal fantasy Reddit that I go to every so often to remember people out there hate work as much as I do.
Anti-paycheck. That's a good one. No, I mean, so that's a good thing. But again, if you've purchased, hopefully everyone's already done their Black Friday purchases. Because let's be honest here, folks, Black Friday is not for gift giving; it's for self.
It's for buying a larger screen TV for yourself.
Right. One thing to note: everyone always says it's great that they close it. Yet, if we didn't shop on this, you're absolutely right, Rolls. I mean, that's exactly it. It's bare minimum, right? Most of us shouldn't be shopping on that day to begin with. I can't imagine.
100% honest, Joe. I need at least one bodega open on Thanksgiving Day till like noon because we always forget something.
No, sure, okay.
I need one bodega open.
Grocery stores,
one grocery store.
Grocery stores, I think, have learned that, and so they'll stay open till about noon or 1 or something, and then they'll close. And that's smart. Because someone's forgotten that one ingredient or they've run out, and sure, that's important. But I don't think we don't need retail stores like Walmart, even though they've got grocery stores attached to them. We don't need them. We don't need Targets. We don't need Best Buys. No one needs to be. No employees need to be working there as opposed to being with their family for those days.
I agree 100%. Thursday and Friday we should all. It's okay to have days off, everybody. Let's enjoy them. So way to go to Target. Way to go to everybody who has it off those days.
Bro, if we didn't have a drug addiction, we wouldn't have stopped. Oh wait, this is truth. The truth. That comes to mind. There are some things, some good gaming news that hit up this week, and one of them just to kind of get some laughs started here, to kind of start this episode off.
Oh my gosh, I know it. Yes, throw it up there.
Boom, baby! It's 2021, and Star Citizen has still not shipped. If you are unfamiliar with Star Citizen and the Star Citizen Kickstarter, it is.
They've had 2, 3. I've lost count of the number of Kickstarters they've had.
It lives in infamy. It is absolutely ludicrous that anybody still gives any money to this game. They have raised $400 million. And not a single product to pay to show.
That's like $40 million a year, dude. That is, you can put out what, 2 AAA games for 400. I don't even know how much AAA game costs.
I don't know. I know they cost a lot of money nowadays, but even then, not this much.
Good Watchmen reference right
Watchmen
there.
reference. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's in 2007. It is 2007. I'm playing a game on Xbox Live called Wing Commander Arena. It's a top-down shooter, and I hate it. This is not Wing Commander. Why has nobody made a new Wing Commander? It is 93. I'm sitting in my living room trying to make a boot disc to my aging SX33.
Way to go, Luke Plunkett. That's amazing.
Chris Roberts, Wing Commander 3, I succeed, but it takes 23 minutes for a mission to load. It is 2012. Chris Roberts, the creator of Wing Commander, announces a new video game. It is coming to Kickstarter, an online marketplace where fans can fund things that are not yet complete. The game is called Star Citizen. It'll be released in 2015.
Still not out.
Still not out. It is 2019. It is 1989. Freddie Prinze Jr.
Hey, that movie was dumb as hell, but it was fun.
This is not Wing Commander. I am not enjoying this.
Oh, Luke Plunkett, you cracked me the hell up. Well done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Tommy. We are all in the same room.
Thanks for jumping on, Tommy.
Thanks for jumping on. I mean, this I don't know who's wasting there. Tommy, buddy, my man, you're a game dev. What is the deal with Star Citizen? Can someone enlighten me in the industry? Like, is it a running joke outside of the industry, inside of the industry as much as it is on the outside of? Like, I just can't imagine anybody like putting it on their resume once they leave, right? Like
saying that they work there. Why not?
Well, I mean,
that's awesome. Get it done.
I mean, if you were to put that on your resume, they'd be like, "Oh, we can't assign tasks to you. You don't get anything done."
They $400 million done.
I mean, I guess you raised 400, but you didn't. It was the freaking showman out there, prancing around.
Check out Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. It's an MMO and its 8th, maybe more year of development, and still no pre-offer built available for $1,000 tier supporter. See, that's the part that I like. Like, I can see being hot for Wing Commander. It was phenomenal when it came out back then. I had a great time. I could see giving $1,000 if I had immense disposable income, but I can't see continuously giving money. And like, at what point do you say to yourself, okay, it's never coming out and I've already given him $4,000 or $5,000 or $10,000? There are ships you can buy in that game that are $750, Joe.
Right. Like,
$750. That's like half a month's rent in a small studio apartment somewhere, right? I'm a loyal worker. I spent 9 years working on Star Citizens before moving on. That's right. What did you make the music? Right? Like, what did you do for them? I have no idea why there's nothing to show. Well, they have a single player game. You can actually play it for free until December 1st and judge it that way. Not to be pimping the game. I have no money or nothing in it. It's just they have something you can play. It's just not what they promised. And in the 10 years, and I followed every so often, the scope creep of this game, right? It started as just a Wing Commander style clone, and it's gone all the way to like you can manage capital ships and conquer planets, and it's become like an EVE Online sort of conceptual thing, except bigger. But I $400 million is not anything in 10 years.
Brendan, I don't remember how many years Duke Nukem Forever was in limbo, but Star Citizen is at 10 years. So like, was Duke Nukem 10 years or was it more than 10 years? I don't even remember anymore. The timeline. I remember sitting
by the time it came out, people no one wanted to play that game.
No. I mean, it's like when we were at PAX and we walked by the postal booth. I
think it was like Postal 4 with the dudes in trench coats, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, who wants this?
Who's asking for another postal game?
I just don't
15 years, Dan says, 1996 to 2001.
15 years, yeah. But I mean, I think with that one is that game, we just assumed it was going to be canceled because they would show it, and then the company got bought out. Epic came in, and 3D Realms got bought out, and Gearbox took over, and then they scrapped the engine and started over. So like we knew that was development limbo. This is a game that's just been in solid production for 10 years. They've never said that they scrapped it and started over. So that's a weird one because that one passed through multiple hands of ownership.
No, this one's been in control of one group for 10 years, multiple rounds of funding, venture capitalist funds, I guess, $750
I mean, it
ships.
just seems like Star Citizen is lacking from its initial promise.
Yep,
I mean, they're just
exactly
over
right, Tommy.
ambitious.
Well, they just scope creep. Every new idea gets put into the game. I think they released, that's it. They released a first-person shooter to play instead of like an actual wing commander style.
Yeah, Randy. But see, Randy Pitchford, as crazy as that dude is like he's actually released the game. Like that would have been like if Borderlands 3 had never come out, right? Like they just conceptually talking about Borderlands 3 because part 2 was so big that you could. But 3 did come out, and we got tons of DLC for it. And
also they didn't kickstart it, right? That's the
other. Right. Like it's just Randy Pitchford is a weird dude, like totally weird dude, but like. His company's still producing a freaking game.
He's the one that keeps porn on USB sticks. Is that Randy? Is that the Randy Pitchford?
There you go. That's the guy.
That's the...
And I got a couple.
Allegedly.
He does a lot of magic tricks though. They're still developing GTA trilogy. So yeah. They've gotten better. They've gotten better from the Colonial incident. Yeah, absolutely.
We all learned from that mistake.
Yeah, when I was making SOE did that with 4 or 5 total reworks from scratch, about 8 to 10 years in development hell before they just abandoned. Yeah, so I remember that specifically for EQ. I mean, look, 2020, 2021 are not the years to try to announce a product and get it released within this year with new, with chip shortages, with shipping, with employee, rollout not being able to like get done. Like, I get it.
People muttering about unions,
right,
days off and stuff.
But, a good one here, Dan, is this is a good one to kind of bring up. And I'm not going to try to like rant and rave on the Amico, but a weird news story came out. I tweeted on it earlier a couple days ago. They were caught stealing assets from other games.
Oh my gosh! And
it's interesting to me that
considering how many of their games were already open source, why would they steal assets? It doesn't.
I don't understand. Let me see if I can pull up this story here real quick as I pull it. But yeah, they apparently had stolen a ton of assets from another like war game, and here we go. So we'll pull up here. Here's the Twitter thread. I've kept up with a few things from Amico. Sorry. Also, it looks like Amico was busted today lifting other games' commercial art and putting it in a launch game, whatever it'll be. And we've got.
My gosh!
I mean, it's.
That's not even.
No,
that's
man.
Can I copy your work, bro? Just make sure to make it look different. That's not.
I mean. Non-commercial use. I mean, this is what they're saying. It's going to be PNG wing. And it's like they're just stealing the World of Tanks. Like it's just flipped. Like here's their asset down here, and here's World of Tanks.
Wow.
Like, I mean, this is bad.
That feels scammy. Yeah. I heard Joe was top tier supporter of Atari VCS. Yeah, he got the wood paneled one.
I got the wood panel one, right?
Come on,
that Atari one. What's interesting about the Atari one is that one as well kind of overpromised, but they didn't really they overpromised hardware, but they never promised anything else.
Yeah.
They just promised that, hey, here's this piece of people are going to develop for it, and no one developed for it. It's dead.
Here's our hobby system. Enjoy it.
Tommy
Doyle says at one point someone at my studio was asked to help with the level. They got the file, opened an editor, and it was blanked. He asked if the file was corrupt, and if they would send it again, they replied, "That is the level." This is from Colonial Space Race. That's the worst kind of group project person, right? Yeah, I sent you the slides. No, there's nothing.
Well, Chris, yeah, but I think that's also killing the Amico before it comes out, right? Like, it's a game system that's double the price with games that are bad, which physical media that they keep prompting is just NFC cards that download the game, but somehow or another lock it. It's an absolute mess. And I wanted to bring that up only because of another system that's launching next month, which I actually purchased. And I wanted to talk about kind of get on a little retro soapbox for a second. The retro community constantly asks for, and we've talked about it on the show, we ask for physical media. We don't want digital, we want physical. We want to own the games.
Physical thing.
Own that game. And so there's been a system out for a while that's promised this, that's done this, and that's been the Evercade. Have you heard about this system?
I mean, I've heard about it from you.
So the Evercade it's a fun little system. It's made by Blaze. I think it's called Blaze Medium, and it's a handheld, right? So the handheld came out last year, and it's a handheld system with cartridges.
I feel like I've seen pictures of this.
You have, and what's cool about it is anybody can port their games to it, and it's 16-bit. It's technically kind of like an emulation system without it, right? Like it's got hardware that everyone's familiar and can program for. And if you've made a game like an indie game for another system, you can just port it to it because it's easy to port. Put it on a cartridge and sell it. A good example is Xenocrisis. Is a game that's on Xbox, it's on Switch, it's on all of them. But you can buy a Xenocrisis cartridge that runs on the Evercade.
Oh, pretty cool.
So again, Interplay. The company Interplay is really not around, but they still own their license to Earthworm Jim. So here's a way for them to port it and make money off of the cartridge. And so Namco can port games, and that's a way for you to own some of these games. I mean, again, that's not to say that these games can't be played on anything else, but this is a way to physically own a game. And what's nice about it is while, yes, a lot of these games are like retro collections, there are some indie developers that have released games on here that have been just indie games, like indie titles. A good example is, again, Xenocrisis is one
that's like the Contra clone, right?
It's the like Smash TV top down. Like
okay,
you go into a room and then aliens come out, and then you're like, it's like a twin stick shooter. So move
stick shooter, got it. Yep, I remember this.
That one is cool, but that game was made by a company called Bit Bureau, who their entire purpose is we make new games for the Sega Genesis. Right. And that's what retro want, right?
Niche, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a niche, but I mean, when you really think about it, it's like a lot of individuals are like, well, I want retro games, but I'm so tired of the retro aesthetic because I know a lot of developers like the artificial limitations, right? They put themselves in the box of the Genesis and they go, what can I do now with this hardware? I've got
now that I know everything we've learned, how do I code to put as much
and you make an amazing game on it, and then you run it and it plays. So then they take that game and then they kind of run it on emulators and port it to Switch, import it to whatever. And sure enough, you can buy a cart for it on here. But that's cool because they're still an indie developer. They used a system that was already out there, but then they can also sell it on a digital marketplace.
That's pretty cool.
It's a cool way for an indie developer to kind of get that retro vibe, but still be new. Also, the retro community will purchase your game because it's a new game for an old system. And new gamers will see it because it'll show up on the digital marketplace on the Switch or on the Xbox or whatever.
You've got it everywhere you can
so
go.
The Evercade is that handheld that came out a year ago. Well, this December, they're announcing another one, or kind of not a sequel, but the Versus system. And this is essentially the console version.
The home console, yeah.
And so what it is yes, it's retro gaming, and it has, controllers, and it's got dual cartridges. So you can literally put in two of the cartridges that you own in there and play them. And basically that's a way. What's really cool is some games, if you buy like collection 1 and 2 and pop it in, when you put both of them at the exact same time, it'll unlock a game that you didn't have before.
That's pretty sweet.
It's a cool little system. Also, they're not locking their controllers down, which means that you can put any USB controller on there.
There you go.
If you've got an Xbox controller, if you've got a PS4 controller, if you've got a wireless 8-bit controller, 8-bit DOE controller, or a retro bit controller, you just plug in the dongle and there you go. You got wireless controllers.
That's awesome. I can get behind this.
So again, it's like, I think it's $129 with two cartridges.
So Chris goes, I'd buy it at like $50.
Right, and I think the system is only like $80.
Oh wow, that's like dirt cheap. That's a good price.
It's really cheap, from my understanding, if I remember correctly. It's $100, 100 pounds, but 100 pounds with 2 games. So I think you can buy the system by itself for less than that. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So
that's pretty cool.
I mean,
are you on the UK Amazon?
Well, because they're a UK developer, so their links are all UK.
Gotcha.
You said dongle.
Come on.
Yeah, Chris, you're absolutely right. $50. $50, right? Like, Sure, and these they're making money, so they're got
But
it for a little bit
why
more.
would I buy a system for $50 when I can buy a boutique item like the Amico for $320?
Right. That's my point. Oh, it's a roundabout way of saying like this game right here. Here's a system that's got a
The
bunch
correct
of games,
price point directed at the
price
correct
point.
audience.
It's got 4 port controllers. You can go pick up another controller and not spend $150 per
Fill
controller
a niche
for it.
that people are asking for,
It's
not
got
like the
couch
Amico.
gameplay. It's got all of the ports of all of those old games. I just don't. The price too niche is not there. And this at least is a system that is a sequel to another system. So if you really wanted to maybe play those games on a go, you can buy the handheld one, or vice versa. Let's say you invested in the handheld one and had a bunch of the cards. Well, now you can just buy the
console and
console one and pop it.
Brandon says, wait, Chris is looking for deals behind the dumpster. Aren't we all?
Justin,
has anyone? Oh, God, VCS.
Just real quick. Has the VCS? I mean, it's not, but I mean, it came out. I haven't seen anything from it. I mean, has anyone seen a new release or a new game or news story, or has anyone said we're going to develop a game for it? Nothing. It's
a boutique item for boutique folks, man. That's a conversation piece.
Yeah, and Dan, Evercade cartridges run at $19.99, and so here's the thing, right? The counter argument would be like, well, wait a minute, the game that's on here is $4.99 on the digital marketplace.
Right, but you're getting a physical hardware piece that works right away. That's your argument, right?
Right.
That's what you're going to say. I already know.
But I'm just. I've seen it at Micro Center. Yeah, they do sell it at Micro Center. So if you're interested in the Evercade, they do sell it.
All right, you Texans. Is Micro Center like a Texas?
No, it's
shop. It's a website.
There's a bunch of them in California. It's a big giant electronics store.
It sounds like a place that is not on Eastern Standard Time, Joe.
It is not on Eastern Standard Time.
It's not on Eastern Standard Time.
I just know that they had a PlayStation with it at the Video Game Museum. Yeah, the Amico is they had a session at the Video Game Museum for sure. I think Tommy Tallarico was there and he was trying to really sell it. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm Tommy Tallarico. His persona has really rubbed a lot of people in the industry the wrong way, enough so that people are gunning for him, and like they're. People say that they're hating, but I don't see it as hating. More so, they're just following up on his promises, right? Like, here's this guy that's constantly running his mouth and saying that he's going to do things better than everyone else, and he knows better than most of the industry. And here we go. So when people call him out on it,
he's putting out a council that doesn't compete,
right? Yeah. Well, he's saying, "Well, I'm not a hater." Well, I've got all these haters. I'm like, no, we're not. They're not hating on you, bro. They're just keeping you accountable.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. So again, the Amico, it hasn't come out yet. Here we at it's holiday season and it's not out. It was supposed to come out last year, but now we're seeing that they even lifted assets for some of those videos. So
it's amazing. Yeah, what's going on with that? Oh my God, Brandon. All right, yes, I can Google it myself, Brandon. Thank you very much.
15 years from now, when do Remaster? I don't have to worry about your copy. Yeah. You don't have to worry about your copy. Exactly. That's exactly.
Or being smoothed.
Dan's killing it here with this segue here, and he's right. 15 years from now, your physical copy, aka my physical copy of Grand Theft Auto, which I popped into my Xbox and worked. I showed you guys last week.
All right.
But here was their response. They apologized for it, pretty much stating exactly what it said. It was
first off, dude. Look how smooth it is.
Just so smooth. Look at it's like butter, baby, like butter. Look at this freaking claymation guy over here. First, we want to sincerely apologize to everyone who has encountered issues with playing these games. The updated versions of these classic games did not launch in a state that meets our standards of quality or the standards of our fans or respect. That's
where are their quality police to have put a
who was their Q&A that said that, you know what? I know people that have worked in Q&A. And let's talk about this for a second. They get ignored.
Yeah.
They're like, this is broken. You can't ship this. And they're like, we got a deadline. Ship it. They knew this apology is crap.
Does not meet our quality standards. I'm like, yeah, it did until after people complained about it. The renders, it hurts. Yep.
We have ongoing plans to address technical issues and improve each game going forward. With each planned update, the games will reach the level of quality. So basically, they're doing exactly what we have said. Is if you bought this physical copy, aka some people are purchasing the physical copy on Switch and they've purchased a physical copy of the definitive edition on your PlayStation and your Xbox. Guess what? The version on that disc is the crap version. Now you're going to have online connectivity to play. So it's not definitive. That disc is no longer definitive. It is an edition.
Oh my God. It is definitively a bad purchase, everyone. Stop buying physical copies is what no, wait, that's not the lesson.
No one will stop them. Tommy, exactly. We have ranted and raved about Rockstar on this show multiple times. They are a developer that is so high and mighty that no one challenges them. No one tells them that their practices are bad, but everyone jokes about it, right? But they're not. This isn't good. This isn't good. So one of the big points of this was they pulled the copies, right? So if you own the old PC copies on Steam or whatnot, you can still download them, but you couldn't buy them anymore.
Right. They're putting them back.
They're putting them back with a caveat. They won't put them back on Steam. They will be back on the Rockstar marketplace thing or whatever, their own store. And if you purchase the definitive ones, you'll get automatically free copies of the PC.
Well, that's nice.
Of the original. That's nice for them to give you a version that works, you know.
hey, the new version works. It just doesn't look good, right?
Yeah, thank you, Rose. I mean, I know, right? The Rockstar developers spent months and months getting horse testicle physics just right. And
it's a shame they didn't put that energy into making that game interesting.
They didn't. They just handed it off to a third-party developer.
Rockstar is the only company that makes GTA games. Thanks, Rio. But Saints Row is a great GTA game if you get a chance.
Saints Row is a better game.
It's a better game.
I'm sorry.
Give that one a whirl.
Hot take, folks. I prefer Saints Row only because
it's got a better sense of humor. It's hilarious.
Right. It is a game that didn't take itself seriously. Yeah. Part 3, Vice City and San Andreas and all them had comedy in it, right? Like you remember the like you had Laszlo on the radio constantly talking and making jokes and whatnot. Like that comedy was completely ripped out from all the new ones. They were just like stale. They felt too serious. They wanted to be like the Tony Soprano of video games.
Yeah, the HBO.
They wanted to be the HBO when in reality they were sci-fi.
Yeah. Speaking of sci-fi, we don't have much time left, and I must talk about Cowboy Bebop.
Go for it.
Have you watched it? Are you enjoying it?
I've seen the first 2 episodes, and I like it.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I want to be clear, everyone that is fans of Cowboy Bebop or not. I have not seen the anime. We talked about this the last 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago.
He has not.
I have not seen the anime. My wife hasn't seen the anime, so I don't have any of the I'm going to use the word baggage associated with Cowboy Bebop. And I just think it's a great sci-fi show. It's like Firefly amped up to 30. It's fantastic that way.
Yeah, it's I made
you watched the anime though, and you were a fan of the anime, so
I love it. But then again, you and I both know that I'm the type of guy that tends to like things more often than not.
Yeah, you're a big fan.
I'm a big fan, and I tend to allow things to exist when other things, like for example, you know, the new Ghostbusters movie came out, which I haven't seen. I'm not going to talk about it on the show. I'll talk about it next week because I want to watch it this week with my kids. But I like the last Ghostbusters movie. Problematic, problems with the story or not. I accepted it as a new Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't replace part 1 and 2. It didn't remove anything from 1 and 2. It just
doesn't make it less.
It doesn't make the other 2 less. So this Cowboy Bebop, I know it's not an exact copy of the anime. So what? Because if we had the opposite, where it was an exact shot-for-shot remake of the anime, everyone would have said, well, it's a shot-for-shot remake. They're going to pan it anyway.
Why bother? That's exactly right. Chris Martin says, Cowboy Bebop is a fun show. I haven't seen the anime. Yeah, Chris, it's a fun show. And then I think someone, Dan says, Firefly, now you've intrigued me. Well, my reference to Firefly is more the low-tech future and the sort of desperate straits the characters are in, right? They're not doing well, even though they're highly skilled. Right? Like they're not doing well, even though they're highly skilled. There's also the sort of references to cowboys, the outlying planet sort of frontierism.
Yeah, and again, this is, if you didn't know, Firefly completely lifted a lot of that from Cowboy Bebop.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
Of course they did. Team Bandori says, hey, all, much love from Japan. Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
Thanks for jumping on. GTA 1 3D FX needs a proper re-release. I agree.
I would agree with you.
We don't need those graphics smooth, though, right? We don't need
them smooth.
We don't need them smooth.
It's its own creation and it's inspiration. Yeah, right. Like, we just have to accept things. Also, the news a few weeks ago, if y'all didn't see and didn't like the rending and tearing of the YouTubers, was that they're removing the dislike count
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Oh,
So this
yes.
is it's you know,
Big
and
fan.
some people apparently I use YouTube very differently, but some people go, well, that tells me the quality of the content, right? If I'm going on there for like a how-to video, if I see more dislikes than likes, then I'm not going to watch it, and it's going to waste my time. But the algorithm won't let that video be at the beginning of their search unless you're going 5 pages deep on your how-to.
You're not going to see
You're not going to see this video anyway. So that's not a good argument. I keep hearing that argument come out that like the like and dislike ratio gives me, lets me know not to waste my time on clicking the video. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Unless maybe they go to different parts of the internet than you do, Joe. Like maybe they're like in the darker parts of YouTube where videos have like different dislike qualities. Or they all disliked.
I don't know.
Maybe the number of dislikes don't matter.
Yeah, right. You could still dislike, but the counter isn't public. And the reason for that is because...
Which is good. We can still dislike something, but we should not quantify how many dislikes something.
Right, because what happens is the dogpiling happens.
You
right?
get spiraled,
And this is exactly what's happening with like Cowboy Bebop, with people who actually haven't even... Because if all the people that are saying that they hated the new Cowboy Bebop had actually watched Cowboy Bebop...
We'd have another season of Cowboy Bebop.
We would have multiple seasons of Cowboy Bebop because that's how many like or watches they've had. But they haven't watched it. They're just disliking it because other people are saying that it's bad.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. I think it's awesome. I wish we got more science fiction like that, but the dislike count goes up too fast for those shows now. The algorithm rewards that negative sentiment for creation now. It rewards that sort of poo-pooing on things so much.
I just don't.
It's a real bummer.
I don't care that I've never gone to a video and been like, oh, let me look at the like and dislike. Apparently some people do. I've always watched the video. And if it's a video that I search for properly, I'll click on it and, I'm hearing the tone and the speed of the information given to me. And I'm like, I'll fast forward a few times. And if they're not getting to the point, then I move on.
Yeah. I don't even hit the dislike button if I'm honest.
I don't.
I don't even hit that.
So does that make right? So that's some of the arguments, right? Some people are saying, well, now it's meaningless. But I'm like, is it? Because it still affects the algorithm, right? So behind the scenes, if your video has 5,000 dislikes and only 100 likes, then your video is not going to be seen. It's going to be literally bombed into the basement of YouTube.
It should be, right.
So when someone searches for how to make the perfect pumpkin pie and your pumpkin pie uses corn and green beans somehow.
I see you've been reading the New York Times recipe as well.
Exactly, right? Add peas to guacamole, at that point, it's like, and everyone dislikes it, then it's not going to show up. It shouldn't be when I'm looking for pumpkin pie recipe, it shouldn't be the top hit. But what's happening is the opposite is happening. People will go and find those videos to review bomb them, and then they go into trending.
Oh my gosh.
See what happens? So because more people are clicking it and watching it, the algorithm goes, well, it's getting dislikes, but it's also getting like massive amount of views. So we're going to go ahead and put this as number 2 on trending. Well,
that's great.
That's because it's being
I love it because we're all getting together to enjoy the hating of something, which is a whole thing. Poo-poo on Arcane. That's the League of Legends cartoon, right?
I don't like Tencent, so.
Oh.
I don't like League of Legends. I'm not going to give them any of my money. I don't care
how
good the animation
is. Is it good animation?
Everyone's loving it.
Everyone's loving it. It looked great. I just can't bring myself to watch League of Legends ripoffs. Yeah, or derivatives.
I'm not going to do any League of Legends anything.
It feels good when shit content gets ratioed. Absolutely, Justin. We all enjoy that Schadenfreude for sure.
Sure, Justin. I agree with you, but big companies will suffer no matter what. So like this change definitely is happening because of big things like Nintendo and like the last big media like down like was the online the DLC the expansion pack. Everyone was going and downvoting it because it was one of the most downvoted videos. And do they really? YouTube came out and said that this was supposed to protect the smaller developer or the smaller person on YouTube, the creator, because it's supposed to be in general, it's supposed to be like better for because that way people don't jump on it. But if you've got good content, people are going to watch it. Also, you're not big enough to get review bombed. But I do agree that sometimes, like LGBT the community, all that kind of stuff. Anytime a video comes out, there's always a community out there that's going to go out there and bomb those. And that stuff sucks. And so hiding the counter is good for them. But hiding the counter for people like Nintendo is bad. So maybe there should be some middle compromise here. If you're a big company like Nintendo, maybe you should have the counter visible.
What do we need a counter for anyway if the algorithm is just feeding us what we're going to watch?
I know. I don't know. That's what I don't get either.
I don't know.
I don't get it either. Rio, yes, but see what you're saying there? It's a branch of Riot Games. Riot Games is 100% owned by Tencent. 100.
There is
not 50. It's 100% owned by China and Tencent.
There is no ethical consumption of their capitalism, Rio, but you just got to draw your line somewhere. And Joe's line is 10 cent, right?
My line is 10 cent, and there's already tons of media that they like. Like I watched Shang-Chi the other day on Disney Plus, and that movie is like 10 cent, like all Disney 10 cent money. Yeah. So like.
It's a little over the top, but it's great.
All over the top on the.
Justin, I'm with you. Bring back 5-star ratings. I miss it. Just giving something a thumbs up destroys my Netflix algorithm. It drives me insane.
I remember when YouTube had 5 stars. Do you remember when YouTube had the 5 stars at the bottom?
I remember when.
I had less gray in my beard.
Rita Sapphire says League of Legends community is so rude. That's why I could never. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I refer to Riot Games as
I was there, Gandalf. Engine. I was there 3,000 years.
All it does is produce douchebags.
I will never forget that first or second PAX we were at. The second PAX with Riot Games taking half of the hall, and it was just.
And I was like, God,
just like the worst employees, just like publicly drunk on the floor, and you're like, "What's going on here?" And it's like, "Oh no, wait, no, that's one of the CEOs as well." Okay,
that's right. It's Riot Games. Don't worry about it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they won't. I can't wait until they break off from that. They can't break off from that company because it is literally owned, like it is self-created. So like the developers aren't going to go anywhere. Like that machine that is League of Legends, it is a free-to-play monster for China and Tencent. So I understand that you found something that you like from it, and there's no shame in that. You can watch it and like it, but just remember that there is no way around it. Those developers and all that you're seeing, yes, they are here in the US and they're making that content, making that animation because they want to, because it's their mind, but all the money is feeding Tencent. That's what I'm getting at. Like it's I understand that these developers might be like, gung-ho and they've got a new idea and whatnot, but there is no money being funneled into anything else other than Tencent at this point because it is.
And they're using that money to buy all sorts of.
And they're using that money to buy other smaller companies, franchises that I enjoy.
There you go. Tencent owns everything, though. At the end core of it, it's Nestle or Tencent, right? Those
right, but you say that with such conviction in the sense that like they own everything, but they only own everything because they made a ton of money from League of Legends.
Yeah, yes. Jojo, you can rant about this for days. No ethical consumption. We draw our lines where we draw our lines, right? So
real quick, I just want to talk about again, massive purchases and weirdness, and this story kind of hit today, and I read about it, and it made me a little sad because again, Tencent owns part of Epic Games, and this is sad. This is a
Rock Back developer Harmonix, who will now work on.
Man. Harmonix.
That sentence gave me an aneurysm. Wait, Epic Games buys rock band developer Harmonix, who will now work on Fortnite. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are they going to put like a rock band Harmonix game into Fortnite now? Is there going to be
I don't know. Maybe
rock band module in Fortnite?
Music in Fortnite has become synonymous,
a battle of the bands. 100 band members enter.
Tommy, this is interesting. Dark Alliance was almost hosted on Tencent Cloud. Wizards wanted that. We actually ended up pursuing them to use Amazon Game Loop. Yeah. So
way to go, Tommy.
You chose that. Yeah. Seriously, this is horrendous. Yeah, it sucks, man. Like I don't look. And again, my line for Tencent is harsh, but
damn Tencent.
I have also praised Fortnite for some of the things that they've done because I've enjoyed.
You've given them money.
I've given them money. I give money to them monthly because my kiddo plays them. So like again, I have to draw that line somewhere. This is owned less by 10 cents, so I can feel like
We
I'm
draw
doing
our lines
something.
where we can.
I draw my line where I can. But that said, this hurts because Harmonix. I've met some of the developers for Harmonix. They're great people. Their entire like mentality has always been music and gaming, and so when Harmonix kind of became Harmonix, when they started off by making Guitar Hero, and the Guitar Hero was the franchise was bought by Activision. They made Rock Band to kind of follow up on that because they still wanted to make that style game, but they didn't want to do it with Activision. They didn't want the Guitar Hero license anymore because it had become weird. They made it weird. One of the things that I remember.
No, Activision doesn't.
Like here was one of the complaints from the developers was that when the next Rock Band came out, there was notes in the music that didn't match. And the problem is all the developers are musicians and they're like, this doesn't make sense. You can't double tap on a single note. Like it doesn't work. Like there was just movement that didn't match. So when Rock Band came out, they brought out that pedigree of music. And then that's when Guitar Hero brought out their instruments. And there was the war of the plastic instruments for a few years there. But Rock Band was superior. It was a superior engine.
I loved Rock Band. I was sad to give it away.
They've done other music-based games. They've done a lot of like rhythm-based style games and color and visual. They did the DJ one recently. That the last PAX we were at, they had the big DJ one. That was Harmonix trying to come back and do it. So now they're owned by Epic, and it's sad that the developers are just going to be like, okay, now go do more Fortnite. It's like, ooh.
Hey, Harmonix, really love what you've done so far. This is your cubicle. You're gonna do something for Fortnite. Give us some ideas in a couple days, all right?
Harmonix did that fun board game. What was it? Beat Mix or Drop Mix? Remember?
Mix, yep.
It was the cards and they licensed music and they went out there and made it so you could make your own. Like that was a really cool idea. It didn't hit off.
Love it. You know, why don't they remaster Rock Band 2? I would play the hell out of that with the plastic instruments.
Yeah.
With my kid. Now's like I gave away my set from before. I would buy it all again.
You know, it's funny in the retro community. You couldn't when all of those were popularity and people were trading them into like all these shops or whatever, they were giving them away. You couldn't like they were like, come give us $10 and take a whole set. We don't want them. They take up too much space. Now we've come back a few years later and people are wanting to play these games again, and these sets are like $150, $200 for a set. I'm like,
I know. Dan, good thing you held on to your Rock Band remaster. Give us that. That's what I want. Grand Theft Auto. Trash. Put it in the garbage. Give me a Rock Band 2 remaster with the music, license all that great music again. Getting chills. Next Christmas, give it to me.
Well,
best timeline.
Rock Band 1 had some amazing tracks, like, and it introduced a lot of people.
And it was fun to play.
A great example is my sister who's in chat right now. Half the songs that she grew up with, she was growing up, we were playing Rock Band. She learned the lyrics and all that from all these musicians, and she probably learned a lot of musicians because of that, and went and looked for their music later on. So like, the good way to introduce people from
Rock Band. Rock Band 3 remaster brought to us by Spotify. I'd rock that out. Bring it to me. Give me those games. Let me make playlists.
Last story before the end.
All right, rock and roll.
Now that the segue, Activision sucks. Activision sucks. So last night, in the middle of the night, they released a press release.
There you go.
This happened like literally in the middle of the night, like.
Oh, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
They released a press release where they're basically reassigning the last 2 female board members to be into a workplace responsibility committee. So basically, they're not firing anybody. They're not letting anyone go. They're just reassigning everybody and saying that we can fix this. Bobby Kotick will not step down.
Responsibility committee. That's amazing.
Yeah. The story's all over the place. I don't want to go through it too much, but just know that the call has been to fire Kotick.
Of course. I don't understand why he doesn't just resign.
He won't. He won't. He says he literally said, and thinking the other ways, like if there's a big enough call for it, I will do it. But he's not. And apparently, even though all 3 of the major companies, Sony, Xbox, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, have all released statements on how disgusted they are with Activision.
Not big enough.
But apparently, that wasn't big enough. And
money. You're right, Brandon. What's going to impact that decision is whether or not Activision actually takes a hit on their bottom line because of their behavior, right? Will Blizzard have less? Will Activision make less money? All those things will happen. that's when they'll force them out of board of directors. So
Yeah. I mean, eventually when they start bleeding money, that's when they'll do it. And it's sad to say this, but again, that's another company that I've hard lined, won't give them any more money. I used to be all about Overwatch for a while. I enjoyed the skins. I enjoyed the events. I like the winter events. I like being able to reinstall it and kind of go into an FPS. Hero. I like the hero style fighter, or the co-op games where I can be a healer. I can be support class. I really like playing support classes. And I won't do it anymore. I won't do it. I've uninstalled it. My account's unfrozen. I removed my PayPal account. It's gone from all that. And I won't
Dan says, if Nintendo takes a stance against you, that's big.
Yeah,
unless you're infringing on their intellectual property, Dan, Nintendo takes a stance pretty quick on you. No matter how.
Yeah, I mean that's what he makes a ton a year. He totally does. But
he doesn't need the money then, right? He's sticking around for some other reason, and it's pride.
Yeah, his pride, for sure. His pride for sure. We're done for the night, but I wanted to just remind everyone that first episode of Hawkeye comes out tomorrow. So it is a kind of a Christmas theme. If you're familiar with that, it's supposed to be kind of like based around Christmas, and it's supposed to be like a weekly thing up until Christmas. Should be fun. Should be a fun ride for that. So
watch the only Avenger with the sidekick power.
The sidekick power. Was it?
Find a sidekick to his sidekick.
I messaged Pedro about that. I was watching Shang-Chi, and I was like, "Oh, how hilarious that Awkwafina just became awesome at the bow." And he's like, "Well, yeah, she just learned how to become Hawkeye.
She got the Hawkeye.
She got the Hawkeye power." Look at the list. And I was like, "Oh, it hurts. It hurts." Poor Clint. Poor Clint. His power's so like out of the fact.
Bow, you shoot a dragon.
You don't know how to fight. Here, pick up a bow.
You're an Avenger now.
You're an Avenger now. I mean, spoilers, but doesn't Awkwafina take like a pretty decent shot in that movie?
She does.
You kind of just like, wow. I don't think how many years.
It's gonna be a Christmas miracle in Hawkeye when he finds his own sidekick to join his.
That's exactly. That's what's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Oh man!
Thanks everybody for jumping on.
Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. I always enjoy doing this.
So thankful for all of you. It's been awesome having you jump on and chat with us.
Yeah, so much. Awesome. Everyone, go get yourself high cholesterol. This weekend, all of the butter, all of the turkey, as dry as you want it, no shame. Pour some gravy on it. Have the awful mac and cheese. Eat the stovetop or the fancy. Go make yourself your cranberry compote. It's gonna be fantastic.
Ham sick and then make a turkey sandwich the next day. Just love it all. It's gonna be fantastic. Yes.
I love you guys so much. Another episode in the can.
Absolutely.
Take care, everyone.
Be kind.
Be kind.